Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, this is going to be a part 2 of me installing the Vevor diesel fuel heater that I picked up for this enclosed trailer. I want to warm the enclosed trailer when I use it as a camper during the winter months. So in this video, we're going to get the Vevor diesel fuel heater installed. I'm going to refuel it full of diesel. We're going to go through the initial first time startup. And we're going to go through all of the operations of this Vevor diesel fuel heater. And at the end of the video, I'm going to give you my honest review about this product. So let's get started.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
If you missed part 1 of the unboxing of the Vevor diesel fuel heater, you can watch that video by clicking on the link, and it's going to go through everything that came with the Vevor heater. Okay, so I have everything already laid out, and I picked the perfect spot that I would like to place this diesel fuel heater here inside of my enclosed trailer. This thing's supposed to be good for camping, garages, sheds. I've even seen people use them for like a doghouse warmer in the winter months to keep their pets warm. Okay, so we're gonna get this thing installed. I have everything laid out. I actually had to pick up an additional exhaust port that is sold separately. I picked this thing up online. I'll include a link where I picked it up, and it came with a couple of 24mm elbows. Okay, so this was sold separately, and also it came with some clamps, some hose clamps as well. So we got everything that we need to get this thing installed. I have a drill because we're gonna have to drill for the exhaust pipe. One of the things about the diesel fuel heater is that it's got to have an exhaust. So if you're gonna put it in your garage or in your camper or in like an enclosed trailer like I have here, you just gotta be able to let the exhaust out. Okay, so for this installation, I'm using a hole saw. This is a 44mm. It's an 1 3/4 or 44mm hole saw that I'm gonna use to drill for the exhaust port that we're gonna install. Okay, so we got everything here, and I picked out the perfect spot for the Vevor diesel fuel heater because the way this thing actually works, it has an intake where the air is going to come in on one side and the heat is going to come out on the other side. So it's got this blowpipe and the attachments. Okay, so the way I'm gonna mount this thing, I'm gonna mount it to where the heat is gonna blow directly toward the enclosed trailer, not toward the wall, but just straight ahead. So I picked up the perfect spot, and we'll show you here in a minute the spot that I actually picked out. Also, one of the things that I need to point out about this diesel fuel heater is that it runs off of DC. Okay, so it comes with a power adapter, and the power adapter plugs into the wall, your regular 110 AC, and it converts it to DC. Okay, so the output on this thing is showing 12 amps. Okay, 12 volts DC, 12 amps on the output, but 110 AC on the input. And I brought that up to say that you can use in this optional cable here that you can connect straight to a DC volt battery, just a regular 12 volt DC battery. So you don't have to plug it in the wall. You can actually hook it straight to a battery when you connect this thing up. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Starts out AC, converts to DC, or you can just use the DC adapter that goes straight to a battery. Okay, and we're going to demonstrate both here in this video just to verify that everything works. So we got everything here that we need to get this thing installed. So let's go ahead and get this thing installed. I'm going to take my drill. I'm going to drill using my hole saw. Going straight in. Okay, now that I have my hole drilled, okay, I'm going to take the exhaust port that I picked up. This thing came with everything you need. It came with some rubber gaskets. It even came with the hardware. Take my exhaust port, line up my gasket. I'm gonna take our rubber gasket, make sure it's on the bottom, line up my holes. Just gonna push the bolt through. Take my second bolt, push it through, get this last hole drill. Okay. So I'm gonna go underneath and attach the bolts that came in the kit along with the plate and the rubber gasket. So I actually took a jack and held it up against the bottom of the plate to line everything up and drill the bolts down. Taking these bolts and putting them on the screws, and I gotta tighten them all the way down. So I'm going to work on the exhaust port underneath. I could basically go with this little elbow that came in the kit, and I could go like this. So I completed strapping down the exhaust that's going to come away from underneath the trailer, secured it with a clamp, and mounted it to the frame of the trailer. As you guys can see, got a clamp holding the muffler and then another clamp that holds the entire assembly so it don't fall down. The way I'm gonna set this thing up, my diesel fuel heater, and it's gonna sit right over the port. I'm gonna take one of the elbows that came with the port, and basically it's gonna sit just like this, and this is how it's gonna sit. So this is gonna be my exhaust port out. When I do not want to use the diesel fuel heater, I could just pull it away. And basically I could cap off this hole. So when the diesel fuel heater is not in use, I could just take this rubber cap to plug the hole. Okay, that's gonna keep anything from coming up through the exhaust port. Okay, I'll set that to the side. But basically how this is gonna work, I'm just gonna take one of the elbows that came in my separate kit, and I'll leave a link where I picked this up. It's gonna mount just like this. And when I'm ready to use the diesel fuel heater, I can slide it directly up to the exhaust port. And I also have a latch here where I can latch this thing to the floor. Okay. So basically, I could take one of the clamps that came in the kit, and clamp it so looking behind the diesel fuel heater, I got everything routed out, coming out of the back of the diesel fuel heater, going underneath the enclosed trailer. So I have the exhaust coming out of the back of the diesel fuel heater with the muffler installed underneath, and the provided exhaust pipe and heat shield. I didn't use it, but I can always use it later. So the first way that I'm going to run the diesel fuel heater is off of the AC outlet, and then I'm going to run it off of the DC once I verify everything works. So the provided cable, the provided power cable, we're going to plug one in into the diesel fuel heater. I'm going to plug in here on the side. Okay, we're going to plug in, and I'm going to run the AC first. Once I get everything working and running, then I'm going to come back and run the DC to verify that it works on a battery. Okay, so plugging in the AC cord. Put on some rubber gloves, grab my diesel, and I'm gonna fill the tank with diesel. very careful not to spill any diesel inside of my enclosed trailer. I'm gonna put back the diesel cap. Close the toolbox heater. Turn on the So I turned the unit on. Feel some air blowing. So it's starting to make a kind of a tapping sound. I guess that's the heating element warming up. Okay, I can hear it, feel it blowing out. It's got a little on button for the carbon monoxide detection. I can turn it on or off. I'm going to turn it on. I'm getting the red light. So I can feel the exhaust coming out. You could actually hear it. So I'm just going to let it run and let it heat up. So the plus is to turn up the blower. And we're gonna just let this thing run and see what happens. We got a so we can adjust the heat. I'm gonna turn it to the max. We have a fuel gauge here on the side that tells you your fuel. I'm showing 182 right now. It's pretty warm. Showing 303 degrees. So I'm just gonna let this thing run, let it heat up, and then we'll check back with it in a minute. So these are going to hold down the anchor with carriage bolts to strap down the toolbox. Since this is my enclosed trailer, I just picked up an additional floor anchor with some carriage bolts, and I bolted it down to the floor of the enclosed trailer. So now this toolbox slash diesel fuel heater is not going anywhere. Some of the things that I didn't use to complete the installation is the exhaust and the heat shield. I still have that I can save at a later date, depending on another configuration. If I want to use it at a campsite or something like that, I can hook this exhaust pipe up with the heat shield. Also, the blow pipe I'm not using because the heater is just going to blow out the side along inside of the enclosed trailer. So I didn't use that. Also, a couple of pieces that went to the blow pipe I didn't use for this install. I still have a lot of the hardware, some of the big clamps for the blow pipe that I didn't use. And we got a spot here on the toolbox. I'm just gonna put my extra hardware right here inside of that compartment. So this thing works off of AC and DC, okay? The input is DC, but this is a converter box. You plug this in the AC side of the wall or your AC outlet, and it's going to convert it into DC, and it's going to power the box. It's a 12 volt DC 12 amp, okay? And this thing could run off of a battery. So if you're at like a campsite or if you're camping, you can just plug into a battery instead of an AC outlet, okay? So I'm gonna use this battery. This battery was from my Honda Goldwing. It's a lithium battery, and I keep it around just for bench testing. This thing is fully charged. It's a lithium battery, and I'm gonna hook up the cable that came. I'm gonna hook up the cable that came with the diesel fuel heater. Very simple connection. You could actually straight wire this thing into your vehicle. Red to positive, black to negative. Okay, so hook straight to a battery. I'm gonna put the battery right here on the front. So I just put the battery here on the front behind the strap. And we're gonna run this thing off of DC. I'm gonna unplug my DC, my AC DC. Right now we're just hooked straight to the battery only. We're gonna plug up a battery. Okay, so I have the cable going straight to the battery, red to the positive, black to the negative. Open up the side, and we have a remote control, and we also have the controller there on the front, okay? So to turn this thing on, I'm just gonna hit on my remote. So it's actually working now off of the battery that I actually connected. So we have a power button here on the front, more of a menu button on the front. We got a menu, up and down, and we have a power button. So to turn the unit on or off, there's the power button. Okay. To turn the unit on, I'm gonna press down the power button. It says start heating. Okay. Come down to the front, we have a CO2 detector. I'm gonna turn this on. We get a red light. that lets me know it's on. Okay, we have, it's hard to see it, we have a power button up and down, and then we have a menu button here at the top. Press menu button to adjust the temperature.
Temperature control mode. Temperature control mode.
Okay.
Gear mode. Temperature control mode.
Okay, so to adjust the temperature, we're going to press the up button. And I want to set this thing to the highest setting. Okay. Now to adjust the actual fan speed, you're going to press the menu button again.
Gear mode.
So your gear mode turns the fan all the way up. And we're going to give it a minute. It's going to start making a clicking sound, which means that the heating element is turning on. And here in a minute, we're going to hear it blowing. So as you can see, you're kind of getting a clicking sound. As you can see, it's starting to turn on. So right now we're in DC mode using a DC battery. The battery is a NLP20, Sunoco lithium battery. And we're gonna get this thing a few minutes and just let it warm up. So you can hear it ticking, but it's not loud. I thought that the sound would be really loud, but it's not loud at all. If you look at the front, you have a spot here for your fuel gauge. I filled it up about halfway. The total capacity is 5 liters of diesel. So if I press the top menu button, temperature control, I can turn the temperature up. Or I can turn the temperature down. I'm going to turn it up. Okay, if I press the menu button again. Gear mode, that's going to adjust the fan speed. I'm going to go up. As you can see, the level on the bottom is going up. And it also gives you a fuel gauge there on the side and a clock on the top. Okay, so that's pretty neat. And it snaps right here, right in this spot on the top of the toolbox. Okay, I've turned down the fan speed. Man, this thing is really warm. It's warm in here, y'all. What do I really think about this Vevor diesel fuel heater? And I'm gonna be 100% honest with you guys. When I first picked up this diesel fuel heater, I didn't know much about it. I wasn't even sure if I was gonna like it. Once I unboxed the product, I realized that I had some work to do as far as running the exhaust. And that was gonna be the toughest thing. Once I run the exhaust, setting up the heater was not gonna be an issue. So I picked up an additional kit, and I'm going to include a link. It probably cost me about $10 for some additional elbows in the exhaust port that I needed. Okay, 10 or 20 bucks. Okay, so I picked up the additional accessories, and I got everything installed. Okay, the toolbox is secure. I can take this thing camping, or I can leave it here in the enclosed trailer. But what do I really think about this product? Again, when I first purchased it, I wasn't really sure of what to expect. I didn't really know if I was even gonna like it. And I thought about it and tried to come up with the best way to hook this thing up, and God gave me the idea, so I figured out a way to get this thing installed in my enclosed trailer. But what do I think about it now that I have it installed? To be honest with you, I really, really like it. To be honest with you, I didn't know if I was really gonna like this unit. I didn't know what to expect. Someone online said that the noise is loud. This thing is not loud. It's not loud at all. The heat is great. Okay, it doesn't smell strong. It doesn't smell like strong diesel or anything. I mean, it runs off of DC, which I just have it running off of this battery right now, and it runs off of AC. So this converter box, AC on one side on the input, DC on the output. So right now I just have it running on a battery. Also, another thing about this particular diesel fuel heater is that it has a Bluetooth app. So we'll do another video a little bit later demonstrating the Bluetooth app on your phone. To be honest with you, I really think this is pretty cool because we are in the winter months and we're supposed to get some really cold temperatures, and I've even considered using my enclosed trailer as a camper. If you guys missed the video on how I set up my air mattress here in the enclosed trailer, you can click on the link in the top corner. But I think this is going to be great, just being able to park my enclosed trailer at a campsite or wherever I want to park it. I can turn on my heater and I don't have to have electricity to run this heater. It'll run just off of a battery. Right now I just got it connected to my NOCO lithium battery that I used to have in my Goldwing. So what do I think about this product? I like it more and more now that I'm starting to use it. I think it's a really cool product. So if you guys have an enclosed trailer or a garage area that you're trying to heat, or like an RV or a camper, I know some of you guys even like to do some camping, man. This would be great to even stick inside of my enclosed trailer. And if I want to pull over and set up a tent, man, I can even set up and have some heat right there at a campground without electricity. All I need is a DC battery. Okay, so I really like this product. I'm gonna include a link where you guys can pick up this Vevor diesel fuel heater. If you guys missed the video of my unboxing, I'm gonna leave a link for that video as well. I think this will make a great gift for men. If, like I said, if you have an RV or a camper, or if you like to even do camping, I just think this is pretty cool, man. The hardest part is setting up the exhaust. Once you get the exhaust set up, it's pretty simple. So stay tuned to my channel. I'm gonna be doing a later video letting you guys know what I think about the app. But it came with a remote control, and I can work this thing with this remote control. So if I'm laying here in my enclosed trailer on my air mattress, I don't have to get up and turn this thing up or down. All I have to do is work it from the controller, or I can work it from the control module right here on the top. And there may be a way that I could actually change the modes on the remote. So I'm gonna do some more checking and reading to see if I can change the modes on the remote. But right now, you set the module to gear mode or temperature mode, and you can extend it to the controller. Gear mode raises or lowers the fan speed. Temperature control mode raises or lowers the temperature. Okay, so got a little spot we can stick the remote control. It's running on diesel. We have it running on DC. We can also run it on AC. You know, if I had a generator, or if I want to plug it, run an extension cord into the trailer. Yeah. I give this thing 5 stars out of 5. And it's starting to heat up in here, man. It's really nice. So anyway, this is going to conclude my video on the installation of the Vevor diesel fuel heater. I want all of my viewers to chime in on this. Let me know what you think. Drop a comment down in the comment section below. Your comments just may help someone. If you like this video, click the like button. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you a little bit later out here in the Caliente enclosed trailer. Thank you. Also, if you wanted to run the blowpipe like through a wall, like if you wanted to sit this outside, you could actually sit it outside, run the blowpipe through a wall, hook this up to the wall. So one end will go inside of the diesel fuel heater, the other end goes inside of the blowpipe, and then you have this little vent. So you could actually run this thing through a wall if you didn't want it inside. But I just like it inside, that way I can actually watch it, monitor it, and control it.